folded my fabric in half, and I got, it needs to be on the fold, that's the center fold. And since I'm using a striped fabric, the thing to note, I looked at the pictures back on my Pinterest board, and it's pretty consistent, and that's how I would do it. If the skirt stripes are vertical, which look natural, you put vertical stripes on your skirt, then your waistband should have horizontal stripes. Just it adds interest to the design. So that's how I'm laying this out. And furthermore, I also want to have those two of those on my waistband, so I lined it up that way. So not to forget, we have seam allowances to add. So I'm going to be adding 2 centimeters on this side, 2 centimeters on that side, 2 centimeters on the end, and of course nothing on the center fold. Well, I'm lucky. The 2 centimeter, actually lucky, but you could also lay it out this way. All I need to do to cut this one is going to be to follow this blue line, so I'll do that. So all I need then is to trace the one on top. Before I cut the second one, I'm going to, well, two things to do. One, it's a detail, I'm not sure if it's absolutely necessary, but I'm going to make this point rounded, so just cut off that point. And then I'm going to lay this, just double check on my skirt that it's roughly right. There are adjustments that can be made, but it should be roughly right. So I've got two pieces. You missed the cutting of the second piece because I did not start my video. So I checked that this matched and just made sure it worked. It was actually, turned out to be really long by a full 10 centimeter. I mean, I ended up having to cut this much off the ends. Not sure what happened. Too long is fine. And as a matter of fact, leave this, you know, I gave it 2 centimeters of seam allowance, but even a bit more. At this point, it's not all set in stone yet, but the length of this piece does set how much you can wrap your skirt around. So make this more than long enough at this stage. If there's a little bit more to cut at the end, that's fine. I just knew that this was way too much. There was no point cutting another one way too long. So now I got two of these, and the last thing to, well, I'm not going to do it right now. There's interfacing, but before I cut any interfacing, I'm going to start to do some assembly and test this out. See, this is going to be double. There's going to be like so it's going to be a little thicker. So I want to put it around me and see how I like it, whether it's rigid enough, whether it has enough body. And if it does, I'll leave it like that. If I find that it wrinkles too much, I don't like it, then I will add some lightweight interfacing. At this stage, I really wish I could assemble my waistband. There they are. I wish I could assemble my waistband, see how it all works, and then work on the upper part, work on the cups, and the straps, unfortunately, if I want a neat finish, those need to be incorporated now before I close up any seams. So yeah, I kind of have to go all in one go. um, that's not entirely gelled yet, even though I've been doing a lot of thinking. But I'll work on this now. So I have a cup from a bikini top. Luckily, well, luckily no, it's not, because I need to work on it. It's one of my favorite, but do you know how it goes? It's low quality latex rubber, and they get damaged. So this is still fine, but the strings and the cords that go with that are ruined. So I want to make new ones. So this is just a cup, but it will be useful because I have a template of how the cups might fit. So the thing is, these are separated. It's a bikini. In my case, I want this to continue. So I think I'm going to use this as a template, add some seam allowances, especially also at the bottom, and extend on the side that goes towards the middle, because it does need to cross over. So this will be a useful template to have. The top, I will close them up, because yeah, the top will be easy. I can close it up here because it's going to be a strap that is attached with a button. So there'll be there'll be a button to sew here, but I can finish. At least I don't need to worry about that part. That I can do separately. Yeah, a lot to think about. So I have a piece of spare fabric. I folded it in half because I'm going to be making two symmetrical pieces for the top. So here we have to be careful, especially if you're using a bikini top as I am. The dress needs to have more coverage than the bikini top would offer. I do have tiny little boobs, and I don't wear a padded bra under my bikini. Clearly, it's already padded in itself, and then I live with the idea of looking like a child. So I don't want too much of a it has to be covered more here, and then it needs to go on. So I have to take that into consideration. And also, this bikini top works the same way. It's gathered here at the bottom to create the tiny little bit of cup that I need. So the method I'm showing, if you're better endowed, maybe you should use a pattern, or be careful about that. Make sure you get enough coverage. For me, coverage is not that it's easy to cover, not a lot to cover. So I'll just lay it down on here. Another thing is, if I screw this up, it's just a small amount of fabric. Again, I can do it again. I have not more over here. So let me try this. Seam allowance on this side, seam allowance at the bottom. And I'm going to go take off from here and give it a generous, just go off this way, probably intersect here. No, it needs to go down to where the seam allowance is. So it's going to be like that. And here I will just follow with just a simple, have just a seam allowance here. So let's try that and see how it works. I don't know exactly how or whether this is going to work. And I'm back with using the fabric vertical, so with the vertical stripes. I do need more on the neckline side. This was creating too much of a too deep I think. So yeah, I do need to add on that side. So this time, this should be more than enough coverage. I am going to hem on, so the straight edge on the bottom is going to be, that's what needs to be built in with the waistline, so I'm going to leave that as it is. I guess I'll crimp and work my row of stitching to stabilize so it doesn't fray. It's not fraying, but anyway, to make 100% sure. And so I'm going to hem on all those sides, so everything up here. I'm going to work a rolled hem all around for both cups.